Aloha and welcome to Children's Stories by Ohana. My name is Uncle Amos and today we travel to Canada where I share a story about an icy nation. Paul grabbed his skates, picked up his hockey stick and headed out the door. The cold northern winds whipped his face. "Brrr, I hate the cold," Paul grumbled to his older sister Maggie. "It's freezing and it's only November. Why did we have to be born in Canada?" Paul and Maggie were born in Nova Scotia, Canada. To be exact, it's a city of Halifax. Nova Scotia is one of the 10 provinces in Canada. It is also one of the smallest. Nova Scotia is at the far eastern end of the country on the Atlantic Ocean. But right now, as he braced against the bitter winds, all Paul knew was that Nova Scotia is cold. There are parts of Canada that get snow for 6 months of the year. And since Canada stretches all the way into the Arctic Circle, there are places where it snows all year long. Canada has the most northern settlement in the world, and on the farthest tip of the Ellesmere Island. Maggie ignored Paul's grumbling. She stooped to pick up a maple leaf blowing in the wind as they crunched on the hundreds of others that the wind had blown into their path. "Look at this maple leaf," she declared brightly. "It's so red." And Paul moped. "What's so special about it?" "It's the symbol of Canada," she reminded him. Maggie was right. The bright red maple leaf was a symbol of the Canadian flag. You see, Canada has made it the symbol of this flag since 1965. Paul shrugged his shoulders. "And don't you love maple syrup?" she asked. "Who doesn't?" Paul smiled. "Canada's amazing. It's the second largest country in the world, and we have more freshwater lakes than anywhere in the world. And we have big oceans on each side." "Yeah, and so does America." "We are also America, silly. America is a continent that goes all the way from here in Canada to Mexico." Paul rolled his eyes. "Fine. So does the United States, but at least the US has some warm cities." Paul was jealous of his neighbors to the south, but in the truth of many of his ancestors in Nova Scotia had fled from the US after the American Revolution. After the British surrendered in 1781, over 30,000 colonists still loyal to England moved to Nova Scotia. The first Europeans were the French, but soon settlers from England and Scotland arrived. This is why Nova Scotia means New Scotland, not New France. But long before the Europeans came, people called the Makima tribe lived in Nova Scotia. We should have stayed Old Scotland, or at least we could have stayed in Virginia with the rebels, Paul whined. "But Paul," Maggie said, pointing to Paul's hockey stick, "if we weren't here, you would probably not be so good at ice hockey." Paul stopped and stared at his stick. Then at Maggie. "I wouldn't?" he asked. "Well," he sighed, "we do not need the ice to play. So come on, Canada, let's get cold." The end. I hope you enjoyed traveling to Canada with me and learning about this icy nation. If you would like to learn how to play songs from Canada on the ukulele, click on the links below. And remember, my friends, to subscribe to the channel and like this video, ping the notification bell so you never miss another story from me. Until next time, stay warm and aloha.